Hello, my name is Grin, and this is my beard. I've got a crumb in my beard that I want to talk about today. It is about Visa and Mastercard trying to prevent anime studios from selling their stuff. So, so that's the story, anyways. I saw this being talked about by who was it? Asmongold. He was talking about how, or he was watching a video about somebody else talking about how these Visa CEO of Visa, the CEO of Visa is like outwardly saying that he is against the way anime uh, studios are making their anime, and he's not going to support it in any way, which means he's going to make sure that they can't use Visa to sell their product or whatnot, or something to that line, something to that effect. Now, here's the thing about Japan and Visa or MasterCard. Yes, I have a Visa card, and yes, I have a MasterCard. I rarely ever use them. In fact, one card I only use for buying gasoline, and the only reason why I use it is because I get a discount when I use it. The other card is just for emergencies. And most of those emergencies won't happen in Japan because most of the time you can pay some other way. Like if you've got your phone, there's like a million different pay apps that you can use, Mel Pay or PayPay or what is that one? There's just so many different ones that you can choose from, and pretty much anywhere you go is going to have the ability to use those cash apps, and it's way more ubiquitous than Visa or Mastercard. So in Japan, if I want to buy anything in Japan, I don't really care about what Visa or Mastercard says. I'll be able to pay for it just fine, and they'll be able to sell me the product just fine. In fact, today I went to a Suzuki small mom and pop uh, repair shop, just like a little repair shop for Suzuki vehicles. And the old man in there, uh, probably the only guy that really runs the place. And I came in there looking for lug nuts for my Wagon R, Suzuki Wagon R, because I was changing the tires to snow tires, to studless tires. And I needed these different kinds of lug nuts. And uh, this is a small store, so it's not like he's going to sell, he's not like he's going to use Visa or MasterCard. But you know what he did use? He did use PayPay. And I was able to pay him using my PayPay app on my phone. Just scan their little barcode and put in the amount and press pay. And he goes, PayPay. It's cute. It's all PayPay. But no problem. No problem. I didn't even have to have any money on me. I just used my PayPay app and there you go. And most people in Japan don't want to use like Visa or MasterCard anyways. It's kind of a hassle. And everybody's got a phone, so it's the easiest way to pay for something. Plus, with a Visa or a MasterCard, that's credit and you got to pay that back. Now, my Visa and MasterCard, whatever I buy comes out of my account automatically. So, not a big deal. But I still don't like that because you don't know when they're going to take it out. Maybe 2, 3 days later, maybe at the end of the month, whatever. So you got to have money in your account. You got to have some sort of a a way to pay for that stuff. Otherwise, it's not. You might run out of money. You might get an overdraft fee, especially people in the states living day to day. Paycheck to paycheck. If you got to, maybe that would be better. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. Probably want to have it so that you pay it personally or something, not have it automatically come out of your account. But PayPay and MailPay and all those other pay services is I go to the convenience store, I charge it. You do this charge thing. It shows up a QR code. I scan the QR code, put my money in the machine, and then it charges my PayPay. And so I can be the person who puts the money in there and make sure that I have money in my PayPay account. Granted, you can't cash that out once it's in there unless you can use it at a store. You can only use that money at a store, but it also gives you points. And those points are just like money. So for every like 100 yen I spend, I get 1 yen back. Plus, there's special deals and promotions and whatnot. Every now and then, the convenience store will have this thing, if you spend uh, such and such money on something here, then your PayPay points will be, 10 times the amount or something like that. They have little events or promos like that. Now, the difference is and this is how it works, because even in the States, if I want to buy something in the States like online or something like that, I can still use PayPay. It's just as good. Like, well, not everywhere, but mostly everywhere. I can even use like I have Steam apps, games and stuff like that on the Steam powered platform, and I can just buy stuff with PayPay. I don't have to have a credit card or anything like that. I can even use PayPay to buy like there's another game that I played by Blizzard, World of Warcraft, and I was able to use PayPay to pay for that as well. It's like there's nothing that I can't use this for anymore. And I think that's the real problem that Visa and Mastercard are getting at. They're getting beat out because the cost to use Visa for a company to be able to accept Visa or Mastercard is way too high. Whereas PayPay or MailPay or whatever, they actually kind of do the reverse. They want people to use their service, so they give extras. It's very inexpensive, and they have lots of special things that they can do to help promote your business and whatnot. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. If I wanted to promote my English school or my studio, I could use PayPay to create a campaign on PayPay that people would see, especially if they're in my area. They'll see, hey, this place near you has a special deal when you use your PayPay app. It's just another way of getting some sort of advertisement. It's great. I love it. I haven't used it yet, but I'm thinking about it. Might actually try it. Now, Visa, what all they're doing is making it so that people in America or in Europe or other countries can't buy stuff in Japan. Because I'm willing to bet that if you live in America or Europe or whatever, you don't have PayPay, you don't have MailPay, you don't have any of those services. Maybe you have Apple Pay, and most Japanese companies will also take Apple Pay as well. So if you can't buy what you're trying to buy, you can't buy your anime or whatever with your Visa, try using Apple Pay. It'll probably work. You'll probably be able to buy it with that. So is it a big deal? I mean, yes, in a way. It means that Visa and Mastercard are basically stifling the currency in the incoming currency from foreign countries into Japan. So I can spend my money, my Japanese money, anywhere outside of Japan and buy whatever I want. But you guys, if you're not in Japan, it's going to be more difficult for you to buy things in Japan and have it sent to you. That's about it. I mean, also, if you live in America, maybe you might have a hard time buying uh, anime stuff from a store in the United States because they can't take Visa or some nonsense like that. It's just, why would you even do that? Visa is just shooting themselves in the foot here, if you ask me, because that's money they're not getting. They're why would you do that? What's the point? What is so bad about anime that's no not okay, but Playboy magazine is perfectly fine? What? I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense to me. This whole, what is it, virtue signaling, or is it virtue signaling, or is it trying to force your moral morals on someone else, on another country? What? Go on, do your thing, I guess, but you're only going to shoot yourself in the foot. Doesn't make any sense to me. And the fact that Visa would even consider something stupid like this is just, I don't know what's going on in America lately. It's just too much nonsense. Uh, I've been in Japan for almost 20 years, and I have no desire to go back to the States and start learning, things that are just kind of non sequitur to me, like all the different pronouns and whether or not I can use a toilet or not, or whether or not somebody else can use a toilet or whatever. How white people are white, especially white men like me, are not accepted. We're all evil, um, privileged people. I'll tell you what, I'm not an evil, privileged person in Japan. I am the minority here. And there are a lot of things that I can't do that other people could do easily. I can't rent an apartment on my own. But most people can't rent an apartment on their own because they need a guarantor. So maybe that's not such a big thing. But there are a lot of apartment companies. They don't discriminate, but they'd rather not have a foreigner living in their apartment. So, or the neighbors might complain about having a foreigner live in their apartment, so they don't want to deal with that, and they'll find ways to, exclude you from the ability to rent their apartment. That happens. It exists, all right, and I know that it exists. And if you have a good guarantor, somebody who can really be your guarantor, and usually that's not a big problem. But if you try to do it any other way, like try to call on your own and get your own apartment complex, it better be a specifically gaijin or gaikokujin friendly rental service, renting housing service, like I don't know, Sakura House or something like that. That's a pretty good one. Sakura House or Leo Palace. Leo Palace is pretty good. I've used Leo Palace many times. Even living in this house, and when I had to work far away, I would rent a Leo Palace, really cheap Leo Palace, closer to my work so that I didn't have to drive through the snow. That's when we had snow. This is we're coming up on the middle of December, and there still hasn't been any snow. And this time last year, actually November, the end of November, there was a big snow here. It didn't last long, it melted, but there was snow. This year, no. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 15 years ago, not 15, okay, 12 years ago. I haven't been maybe I have. Have I been? Yeah, I've been here 14 years, 14 plus years. So when I first came here, it was early November, and there was snow everywhere. In fact, on the sidewalks, because the snow plows would come through and push all the snow up towards the edge of the road, and there'd be this wall of snow uh, between the sidewalks and the roadway, just like a wall, higher than you can see. You couldn't climb these things. Just a wall of, and it was almost straight up and down because the snowplows would just plow right through it perfectly. But yeah, okay, so I got derailed. Going back to the whole Visa nonsense. Visa, Mastercard, all you companies, if you want to do something stupid like this, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. You're going to make these industries find some other form of service that will do what you used to be able to do and won't do. And you will lose. You will lose in the end because money will find a way. Maybe it'll be crypto coins or something like that. I don't know. Bitcoin. You can buy anything with Bitcoin. Maybe something like that will happen, but they'll find a way. They'll find a way, and if Visa is not the way, then there will be another one. Trust me. It'll happen. So that's what was in my beard today. Thanks for listening. Goodbye now.